Hi, y'all. It is the Southern Belle from Hell here. And happy birthday, America. I am posting this for July 4th. I'm posting it on July 3rd, but that's my usual. Well, Wednesday and Saturdays are my usual days to post builds, and tomorrow is herbs and spices. So I thought for the 50 States Challenge for this day, I would do a Virginia colonial house. Um, Kind of like your typical historical looking colonial, basically. Um, I got this inspiration from a picture off of Pinterest, and I couldn't find the house plan, so I got creative with it. And it was, like pretty simple. Of course, my phone always goes off when I'm recording. Um, well, I say pretty simple. Like for me, it's simple because I've been around a lot of old houses. So I knew I wanted like the rooms to flow into each other because so many of the old houses in the colonial time period and like I've lived in New Orleans for a long time, and these houses, like, the rooms just go into each other. There's really no like open concept. I mean, it is, but it isn't. It's separated usually by like an opening of some sort. And the bathrooms usually have multiple entrances. The day rooms have multiple entrances. So I knew what I wanted to do with this. I've been planning for this for a while. So right now, I'm making sure I have those Greek revival columns going on, and I wanted to do a red, white, and blue color scheme. America. I kind of went a little bit overboard. I'm not even going to lie. I did just a little bit. If you are not from the U.S., the 4th of July is kind of a big deal. Well, at least in my neighborhood, it is. Everybody has their, flags out. They're getting fireworks ready. There's fireworks stands around every corner. And yeah, we're going to barbecue and grill and stuff like that. Comment below what you guys are doing for the 4th of July. Even if it's after 4th of July, when you see this, tell me what you did. We're just going to have, family over and do a grill. And I'm not huge on fireworks because I've got little fur babies that get scared of it. But we're just going to like go down to Biloxi and watch it. So I found these windows that had the blue shutters, and I really wish it wasn't this blue. Like, I wish it would have been like a navy blue, but I could not find a shutter that had a deep navy blue that still was long like this, because I love these long windows because it is, the windows of that time period, where it stretched from, the ceiling to the floor. So it's blue. So I went, you know what, we're just gonna go with it. It's red, white, and blue season over here. I'm mapping out the layout of the house. I want to make sure that there's a living room, an entertainment room, a study, like a lot of rooms for different functions. I don't like, usually, our plans is more of an open concept, but in these old houses, they had rooms for a specific purpose. It was closed off by something, whatever it may be. So I was just really getting into, okay, which room is going to be what. And I love the open, balcony, that kind of just opens up to the huge window in the front. I think that's so gorgeous. And it was just a fun build. I had a lot of fun with this. It turned out bigger than I expected. This turns out to be a 6-bed, 3-bathroom house. And I blame it on watching the decades challenges. I've been watching so many decades challenges here lately. I don't want to do a decade. I do, but I don't. And I've been watching like their houses and, how they've had to add on because staying true to the decades, there wasn't birth control or things like that back then. So they're having a bunch of kids. It's almost like a 100 baby challenge. So I've been watching these big old houses with a bunch of bedrooms for everybody. And I guess that's why I made this house bigger than I had planned. I tried to stick to wallpaper that was basically like you can feel that it's old. This looks like something that you would see it, when touring a historical house. But with that being said, I didn't want it all to look the same. So I try to differentiate from room to room, area to area. I keep the entryway and the back door exit and the hallways, the same because I like those things to match. But the bedrooms, bathrooms, living room, all the rest of it, I tried to differentiate, but still tried, to make it look according to the colonial period. Now, for the landscaping of this build, I wanted to have a fountain in the back and a gazebo. So right now I'm just kind of making this circular courtyard area to put down our fountain that I'm going to surround with red, white, and blue flowers. I love this gazebo because it had a blue roof and I was like, how perfect. So now I'm putting out different fences that I want to use. I ended up settling for a white picket fence and a red brick privacy wall in the very back. To me, that looks so traditional, like classic, American style homes. I just felt like that went really well together. I usually don't like to close off the entire property, but I felt like it fit well with this kind of build. I didn't want to cover it with trees because I wanted you to be able to see everything because this isn't a woodsy build. I ended up putting a cherry tree in the back, George Washington chopping down that cherry tree. I don't even know. Did he really do that? I remember hearing some story about it when I was like little. But anyways, I put that old style mailbox, and that mailbox is not functional. So if you download this from the gallery, you're going to have to get another mailbox. But to me, the other mailboxes just didn't look right. And I have all the expansion packs, almost all the stuff packs. So I just couldn't find one that fit. The one with the flowers and the stones, I just felt was such a clash with the flowers I'm using, as well as the, red, white, and blue brick and shutters and everything. Like it would have went well, but also it would have clashed. It would be like not matching. And I'm a Virgo. I like things to match. So right now I'm just putting out as many red, white, and blue flowers as I can find that I feel like looks good with the landscape. And I'm just, kind of scattering around. Like, what do I want to do with this stuff? And I decided to put these hedges around the privacy wall. I felt like that looked more natural instead of, just the wall sticking out. And I make these hedges around the picket fence on the left and right side a little bit smaller because, the picket fence is smaller, and I thought it would just look silly to have a huge old, hedge basically blocking view of the house from the street. And now I'm just putting down some ground cover. I wanted this house to look like, of course it's manicured. It's got red, white, and blue flowers, but I didn't want it to look so pristine that it didn't have, shrubbery and stuff around it. I don't like doing landscaping like that because to me it doesn't look natural. When I do more modern builds, it looks like it fits a little bit better. But like for old houses like this, it just doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't feel right. It rubs me the wrong way. Um, so that's what I'm just doing right now. I'm just putting down some greenery, some shrubbery, and trying to make it, be facing different directions so that it looks like more naturally laid out and stuff. And then I'm going to start planning for the red, white, and blue flowers everywhere. And I think it just turned out awesome. I felt kind of silly doing it because I was like, does this even go together? But then I went, you know what? It's it's Independence Day. We've got to have that red, white, and blue. So even if it doesn't like go perfectly well together, it's a little outside of the box. If you hear squeaky toys going on in the background, my dogs are having a good time. They're not in the room with me, but they're definitely chomping down on their toys. I'm sorry. If it's not my cat, it's my dogs. But I have a lot of animals, so that's my fault. But I love and adore them. They are my they're my fur babies. They're my kids. Okay, so again, I'm just because I've picked so many flowers, I'm just making sure I have like the exact same foliage going around to the back. And I think this turned out so pretty around the gazebo. Like this just it seems to fit in well with this color scheme and everything. And the gazebo has, those little twinkle lights around it. And I don't know, I just felt like that particular item to this backyard really fit in well with this build. I really like using the round shrubs every once in a while, just like as an accent piece, to kind of throw in some order, I guess, to the rest of the shrubbery, like that's around it. Um, I don't know if you guys noticed, but usually, like when I take my screenshots, I have reshade on, and during my videos, I do not because reshade hurts my eyes. But when the reshade's on, oh, the landscaping looks so pretty, especially after I add like shading to the ground and everything. But yeah, it turned out cuter than I thought. The outside, it's a lot going on. I'll give you that. But I kind of liked having a lot going on. Just something interesting that like catches your eye. Instead of like the same bush, the same flower, just scattered here, there, yonder, mostly yonder. All right, now I'm just adding little like clumps of grass around the landscape, trying to, again, just make it look more natural, just a little bit around the trees and stuff. Now we're going to start shading, and I felt like the shading just really brought this together. Like, yeah, this is a nice backyard now. I'm super country today because my sinuses are so messed up, so my voice is a little bit deeper and huskier. I am so sorry. This time of year is not fun in this area of the U.S. Okay, so now we're working on the kitchen, and I wanted to make a traditional colonial period type kitchen with modern appliances. And the reason why I did not stick true to the colonial time period piece, my next build that I'm going to post Saturday is going to be an off the grid state build. I don't want to give too much away. And I did want to do two like period, well, I wouldn't say period pieces, but basically off grid lots back to back to back. It was a struggle. I was like, do I stay true to the colonial time period, or do I make it, just have that style but have modern appliances? And I'm like, well, I'm already going to be doing this build that has no technology, no appliances. So I didn't want to do two of the same things. If that was like a bad call, let me know. Um, I was torn in between that decision. So I just tried to make it look like, yes, this is an old house, but we've got some new stuff in it. Um, I didn't want to clutter up the kitchen too much. I'm trying to like not do that as much because even though it's so cool, I enjoy it so much. It's not functional. Um, your Sims will say that they don't have a counter to work on. Um, they'll have that little question mark above their head. And I want you guys, especially, oh, you gotta let me know if you're doing a decades challenge and you want to use this house. I want you guys to be able to access it and, not have to like do away with everything I've done. And there is no custom content in this. I've been asked that for a couple of videos. I seldomly use custom content in the things I post. It's not that I don't want to. I love custom content, but I want, everyone to be able to use what I make. All right, so now we're moving on to the living area, and I don't put any TVs in this house. I do put like those old little phonographs that come in the game. Um, is that what they're called? I'm pretty sure it is. And I wish we had a big phonograph. Like there's a custom content piece where it's a big, very vintage looking phonograph. And I wish we had that instead of the small little tiny ones because that just, it doesn't look like, it looks like something, that you would buy as, oh, cool, look at this. Not necessarily like, oh, this is a period piece phonograph. No. I like The Sims 3 had a big one and I used that all the time when I did like older style builds. And I wish they'd include that in game. That would have been perfect for like the vampires pack or country no, cottage living. That would have been perfect. But what do I know? But so I wanted to stick again with like red, white, and blue all over the house. I do a lot more blue though, if you've noticed that, because I don't know. To me, it looks like it fits well, and to me the wood the wood flooring has a little bit of a red tint to it, anyways. So I save the red mainly for the dining area. Um, but this living area I felt just like came out so classy. Um, and like it looks like something that you wouldn't have to change up too much to fit in with a decades challenge or, time period piece. And I wanted to add just a little bit more to this bookcase because I felt like this bookcase fit in really well with everything, but it was just a little bit empty. See, just finishing up that living room. It's so pretty. Um, After this, I move on to the entryway, and I hate doing entryways and hallways because it's like, what do you put? But I felt like this came out pretty good. I tried to make it look kind of formal. Put a little chest there, that's got like that little fleur-de-lis style. Um, Keys, little hallway table. I wanted to have a candelabra in a couple of the rooms, so I pulled that out. And it to me it looks elegant. It looks like an old style colonial house. I mean, I think so. Um, this build shockingly, it still took me like 4 or 5 hours to build, but I honestly thought it would take me a lot longer. Um, Make sure if you've watched this far to hit like and subscribe. I love doing this stuff. It is so much fun. And the more you guys like and subscribe, the more other viewers um, get to watch and enjoy, and, will hopefully enjoy. um, but yeah, if you guys have any suggestions, constructive criticism, or, maybe you want me to build something, please let me know. I love doing that. Love doing that for people. And check out my gameplay series as well. I'm doing legacy rags and herbs and spices, and that's so much fun. I have to stop myself from recording several episodes at once. So right now we're doing the music room, and I was thinking like this could be the parlor where when people come and party like it's 1809. They've got the piano, they've got a little wine rack. But I end up using, I keep the nectar rack that's on the floor there. I keep it in this room, but I move the rack, the overhead rack, to the dining room, and you'll see why, because it just fits in better. Oh yeah, I'll put that little birdhouse in the back. I hardly ever use the birdhouse, and I said, you know what, in this build, that would just be perfect to put, with the gazebo and the fountain and everything. Absolutely love this room. I went for a little bit more of a softer blue tone, and this is when I realized, I'm like, I'm just going more blue. I'm not doing any red, so. That's when I realized, like, I need to do this dining room in all red. I put these paintings up that, a little bit older style. I tried so hard with the art because, I do it to myself. When I do a big build like this, I use so much of the paintings that, by the time I'm moving around for the rest of the house, I'm like, okay, I've done used this, I've done used that. What else can I use? So yeah, I just need to rein myself in a little bit on that. So the dining room, I wanted to make sure that at least 2 rooms in the house had a fireplace. I mean, really, back then, every room had a fireplace, but I didn't want to clutter up the roof too much. And I moved the wine rack up above the bar because I'm like, it's got to have a bar. Birth of America. Got to celebrate with something. Now we're moving on to the study. And I really like this study. I don't know why. To me, it feels like you can just get all of your skills up. I love using these bookshelves where you can change the colors so it doesn't look, so stationary. And I knew I wanted to have this little chest table, but I didn't know what to put on the other side of the room. I end up going for an easel, and I use the business branch chair that's you've got to unlock, but I said like that looks so good with the rest of the decor. And I don't know, I just ended up really liking this study / library, making sure all the rooms downstairs have light switches. Again, out of the colonial period. Kind of dressing up the room a little bit. I end up using a lot of pictures from the ranch pack. I was like, what if I put up pictures of different aspects of America? Here's a farm. Here's, something that looks like it's got mountains in the background. Here's a picture of canyons, desert, things like that. Just to showcase the land of the free and home of the brave. I was going to say that a little bit better, but my voice started cracking. Okay, so I'm dressing up this hallway just a little bit. It's not a big hallway. Thank goodness I didn't do that to myself. And also the back, like the little, it's not, well, I guess it is the back in back entry. Oh God, I shouldn't say that. Mind in the gutter. My bad, guys. So I wanted to make a little game room. These old houses always had like a parlor for the ladies and like a smoking room, brandy room for the guys. So to make it a little bit more modern, I just add a game table, where they can play cards, and a foosball table because, America loves their football. Um, and soccer, honestly. A lot of people say that like we're not that big into soccer, but my students, I'm a teacher as a daytime job if you didn't know that already. It's kind of a tie. I don't know why people assume that. It's kind of a tie. They love really all sports. But I'm at a school where like the athletic department's very very big. I wanted to make this back exit area, kind of like an area for gardening. I really wanted to, just kind of have that rustic, homey feel to this with the colonial period because I feel like it marries better together. Um, and it's something that I think you would find even if you take all the technology out and you use this as like a period piece. They're gonna garden. You know, they're living off grid. They got a garden to eat. So I wanted to have just a little space for that. I didn't put a garden back there because I was like, you know, does it even like fit in with the decor I have going on right now? So if you want to put a garden back there, yeah, it would go well with this. Um, I wanted to keep the downstairs bathroom kind of plain. I tried to make it look like an old bathroom, with the clawfoot tub, and it's been modernized to have a little shower. Um, but I noticed like a lot of well, I say a lot of the old bathrooms, they were very big, like very spacious. It's like, you know what? Now that we don't have an outhouse, we are going to have, a bathroom that takes up half this house. We are out from the outhouse. So the downstairs bedrooms, I make one for like a single bed and another for a double bed. I didn't really have any specific Sims in mind. I just kind of had this idea of utilizing different color swatches and just different old style designs to incorporate into this house because again, I've been watching so many decades challenges. There's so many kids. So I put like a lot of bedrooms that could be used as like a teenager's room or a child's room, because that's just kind of like what I'm watching right now. So I'm just associating that type of gameplay with this. And I think all the rooms turned out super cute. Like, basically any age group, technically could, make that bedroom theirs. Um, I did feel like towards the end of this build, I'm like, oh, so many of the rooms are so feminine. So I end up throwing a super like masculine room in there. And yeah, and you'll see it because then I was like, this just looks like it's a house full of dainty ladies. I mean, the blue room, I guess, could be a boy's room, but it is very, very pretty. Very pretty. But I love that picture of the horse with the blue sky in the back. I felt like it fit well with that particular bedroom. Right, so now we are upstairs, and I'm just kind of adding, a bookshelf. I'm going to add some chairs and a decorative mirror. Um, just something to make this area a little bit more interesting. There's the balcony door. The balconies aren't very big. The house, um, with the picture that I was going off of from Pinterest, it didn't really have like really an accessible balcony. They had like a balcony, but there wasn't any doors that opened up to it. It was just like, a big old window. So I said, it would be cool to have at least one balcony area that you can open up and stand out there and, look over the backyard. Um, so now and I tend to do this when I have I'm going to be working on a lot of bedrooms. I am trying to figure out which bed goes with each room that I've decorated. And this was a difficult decision. I was taking this very seriously. I was trying so hard to make it look rustic, colonial, but not overboard, to where it looks like a king or queen royalty lives here, because that's not colonial. That's more Victorian. Which, I mean, they can marry each other. Like they're pretty close, closely connected, but I felt like that just wasn't like that didn't fit in with the Virginia colonial idea I had. So in this room, I really wanted to make it look super cute. I put some knitting stuff, sewing stuff in there, and some books, and I really liked the kerosene lantern. To me, it made it more fitting to this style. And I absolutely love the Nifty Knitting Kit. I guess because, like, I like to knit. That's not really something that's always hit on in games, is like the stuff you can make knitting. So to get my Sims to do it is so much fun to me. I'm like, yay, you're doing better than me, which of course they are. So I had a hard time figuring out what paintings to put in this room. So I end up settling for the kind of old style portraits, and some cutesy pictures, one with a dog, another one with like a little fox. And this room, I had it just in my mind, this is going to be Granny's room. I always put like Granny's room somewhere because I like I like old people aesthetic. I'm not ashamed to admit it. And I had such a good time with this room. So I've got little books. I've got little boxes of Granny's clutter because older people love to hoard. I even put the glass cup with dentures. I put that by her bed. That comes with the everyday clutter kit or bathroom bathroom essentials or something. One of those kits it comes with. And yeah, I had a good time. I put the cookbooks there, and yeah, I just felt like that was awesome. Like Granny has a big old space. I forgot to put curtains in this room, so I'm going ahead and putting curtains in both bedrooms right now. And now we're going to figure out how to decorate this room. Now this one, I really wanted this to be a little girl's room, because to me this wallpaper, it just reminds me of a old house that had a little girl. I don't know. I don't know if many of you are aware with like Louisiana history and stuff like that, but we have a plantation called the Myrtle Plantation, and it's supposed to be one of the most haunted areas, at least in the U.S. And I've been there a couple times, and one of the girls' bedrooms had almost this exact kind of wallpaper. So I guess that's why it sticks out in my mind that, oh, this wallpaper, little girl's room, and it's this exact time period. If you've never heard of it, it's a sad, crazy story. I would definitely look it up. The Myrtle Plantation. It's been featured on like the Travel Channel a couple times. I think there's a few books written about it. It's a sad, sad true story. There's several stories, but anyways, this is the masculine room. I feel so bad because it's the smallest room. Oh gosh, but I felt like this was very I don't know, like the colors marry well together and it goes well with the time period. And I can just picture like, some soldier from the Great American War just settling down in this room, singing "My Country 'Tis of Thee." Yeah, I've been playing this way too long. All right, so we're fixing up the bathrooms, and again, like I have like multiple doors going into the bathrooms because that's how a lot of the old houses are. And so I try to make it a little bit bigger than, your typical bathroom. So, there's space for the Sims to go to and fro. And this will be the last room I'm working on. I really like the way the bathrooms turned out. Like, I felt like it really went with this house. And I did a playthrough, and everything besides that mailbox is functional. So if you run into any other like glitches or issues with this build, please let me know and I will edit it for the future. And until next time, have a good one, guys.